Are you looking for the best monitors for Mac Mini? In this video we will look at some of the 6 best monitors on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. BenQ MOBIUZ EX321UX. The best monitor for Mac Mini that we've tested is the BenQ MOBIUZ EX321UX. It's a 32-inch, 4K monitor that's versatile for productivity and editing. Its detailed 4K resolution and accurate sRGB mode are useful for content creators. It's also very capable in HDR, as it displays a wide range of very vivid colors, has highlights that pop, and even has an effective local dimming feature that helps improve its picture quality in dark scenes. It's also a great choice for editing fast-paced video, as it has great motion handling. It's a great choice even for general work use, including if you work in a sunny room. It becomes very bright, so it effectively fights glare, and its coating absorbs light well to minimize distracting reflections. It also features a number of USB ports and a KVM switch, making it easy to use the same devices on 2 different computers. However, it doesn't support Thunderbolt, which would enable full use of the Mac Mini's capabilities. You can also consider the Dell U4025QW if you prefer a model with a larger USB hub and Thunderbolt support. However, it has significantly worse picture quality in HDR due to its subpar local dimming feature. At number 2. Apple Studio Display. Should you want an Apple product to complete your ecosystem, consider the Apple Studio Display. Besides the added cost, it differs from the BenQ MOBIUZ EX321UX in a few ways, as it doesn't support HDR at all. Therefore, it's not a suitable option if you plan to edit videos in HDR. It also comes with a less ergonomic stand, but there's a variant available with a VESA adapter for those who prefer to mount it instead. There are a few advantages to getting the Apple over the BenQ. As Apple advertises the Mac Mini to pair perfectly with the Studio Display, there are a few features that can only be accessed on the monitor with a macOS device, such as its extremely accurate sRGB mode. You can also change the monitor's settings directly from your Mac Mini. Plus, the monitor has a higher 5K resolution, which results in the optimal PPI that macOS aims for, and it has better text clarity than the BenQ. It also features 3 USB-C ports, allowing you to connect your devices, including one Thunderbolt 3 port. It even has a built-in webcam and microphone, which many monitors don't come with. At number 3. Dell U4025QW. If you don't need an Apple-specific monitor or find the 32-inch screen on the BenQ MOBIUZ EX321UX too small and need more space to work with, consider an ultra-wide monitor like the Dell U4025QW. With a 21:9 aspect ratio and 40-inch screen size, it's easy to multitask with different windows open, which is useful if you're a video editor, as you can see more of your timeline at once. However, unlike the BenQ, its highlights don't pop in HDR, its colors are much less vivid, and deep blacks look gray in a dark room with local dimming on, so it's disappointing for editing HDR content. That said, it does have some added productivity features. It has a massive USB hub that's much larger than the BenQ's. It includes 5 USB-C and 5 USB-A ports to connect a variety of devices, and it supports Thunderbolt 4 for faster data transfer and higher bandwidth than the Thunderbolt 3 support on the Apple Studio Display. Plus, it even supports daisy chaining to a second display, ideal if you want even more screen space. However, this monitor is expensive, and you can also check out the Dell U3425W if you want a cheaper ultrawide. That said, it has a lower resolution and doesn't support HDR. At number 4. ASUS ProArt Display PA279CRV. If you find that the BenQ MOBIUZ EX321UX, Apple Studio Display, or Dell U4025QW are too expensive for your needs, there are some great 4K monitors you can get for less in the mid-range price category. One of those is the ASUS ProArt Display PA279CRV. It displays a wide range of colors, though they aren't as vivid as on the BenQ. It's also bright enough to work well in a well-lit room, but reflections are distracting if you place it opposite a sunny window. Another downside is that fast-moving objects look blurry, so it's not good for editing fast-moving video content. The biggest difference between the ASUS and the BenQ is with HDR performance. The ASUS doesn't get bright enough for highlights to pop, and it has a terrible local dimming system, so deep blacks appear gray in a dark room. That said, the ASUS is still a great choice for editing SDR content, and it has special preset modes for various color spaces such as DCI-P3 and Adobe RGB. It has a few useful productivity features, too, including a USB hub with DisplayPort Alt mode, but no Thunderbolt support. At number 5. ASUS Q27G3XMN. If you're looking for something in the budget category, there are a few good options for the Mac Mini, like the ASUS Q27G3XMN. The main trade-off for getting something cheaper is that it has a lower 1440p resolution than the ASUS ProArt Display PA279CRV, which means its text clarity is worse, but it's still good. Another downside versus the ASUS is that it doesn't have any USB ports. This means you can either connect over HDMI, which has a max refresh rate of 144 Hz and doesn't support VRR with macOS, or with a USB-C to DisplayPort adapter to get the monitor's max refresh rate of 180 Hz. It does have some advantages over the ASUS, as it has better picture quality thanks to its mini LED local dimming. Its local dimming helps it display deep blacks with bright highlights, and there isn't much haloing around objects either. It's also useful for editing HDR content because of this, and it displays a wide range of colors. You can also check out the similar ASUS Q27G40XMN if you can find it available for cheaper in your region. It gets brighter, but there are some bugs and it has worse motion handling. At number 6. Dell P2425H. Should you want a simple and cheap entry-level monitor to use with your Mac Mini, then check out the Dell P2425H. There's a notable trade-off for the step-down in price categories, as this monitor doesn't even support HDR and has worse picture quality than the ASUS Q27G3XMN. Additionally, it features a smaller 24-inch screen with 1080p resolution, so text appears less sharp than on the ASUS. That said, this is what you have to expect for such a cheap monitor. Despite its low price, it still offers some work-friendly features, such as a USB hub for connecting various devices. It features a USB-C port, but since it doesn't support DisplayPort Alt mode, it's intended for data transfer rather than video transfer. Therefore, you'll need to connect the Mac Mini to it via HDMI or with a USB-C to DisplayPort adapter. It also comes with a very ergonomic stand that makes it easy to adjust. Lastly, it's fine if you want to use it in a room with a few lights around, thanks to its matte coating, but it doesn't get bright enough to fight intense glare.